What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in this video, we're gonna watch the ladies from The View have a complete meltdown over Trump ending DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion in the practices, in the hiring practices of the federal government. Basically, no more racial quotas when it comes down to the federal government. So let's not waste any time at all and get into this video because it is it's hilarious. Let's get into it.
So one of Trump's first moves after taking the oath was issuing sweeping executive orders to end diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, all in the name of what he calls meritocracy in the workplace. So what do you think of getting rid of these DEI programs, and do you think he knows how to spell DEI?
So I fall somewhere in the middle on this. I generally think organizations are stronger when there's diversity, but I think it needs to be the whole host of diversity. So ideological, socioeconomic diversity, religious, not just race-based.
Not just based on race.
And I think that a lot of Americans generally agree that diversity makes things better. But I also think a lot of this country thinks, I want the federal government to work. I don't know that I think every agency needs 100 or dozens of employees focused on diversity if you can't get your VA benefits, if you feel like our schools are failing and falling behind, if you think it's too hard to get your Social Security benefits. So I think there's somewhere in between that most people fall. And I will say this, something that I've heard from both MAGA types and then like Bernie bros is DEI to some extent is a professional people problem. If you're working class in this country, if you're in the agriculture sector, if you're in the service industry, you don't even get to have a DEI office.
Is that true, really? Because I remember when I was younger, a black person would have a hard time getting into a union, for example.
Yeah.
That would be blue collar.
So unions do actually tend to have some level of DEI.
I don't know if that's true anymore, but that was true then.
I'm saying in a workplace, this isn't necessarily for a lot of working class Americans the first issue that they're coming up against is how do I make the workplace more diverse, or do we have a DEI officer? It's am I going to get paid on time? Is my check going to clear? Am I going to get enough hours to make ends meet?
Right. I think this is a really important issue, especially because when we're talking about DEI, we're not talking about a DEI office. We're talking about equal opportunity and inclusion across all offices for all people so that it's more reflective of what America looks like.
Reflective of what America looks like. Just keep that in mind.
This will specifically harm women, right? And it will specifically harm African Americans and Latinos. So we're not just talking about black jobs.
How about Asians?
It will affect Asians as well. And so I think this is really counter to his campaign promises to protect black jobs, because in the federal government, overwhelmingly, black professionals work there. We're talking about over 16%, more than the black population. And so I think what we're facing...
How is that reflective of the country? If it's 16%, you just admitted it's more than what the country's population is. 13% is black. So is 16%, isn't that overrepresentation? So do you believe in reverse diversity and inclusion, right? Remember they say what, reverse racism, right, is what they call it. Do you believe in reverse DEI? Because if they're overrepresented, then it sounds like we need to fire them. You're making a great case for firing 2 to 3% of the federal black employees. This doesn't make any sense. But you know why she said that? She said that to make the point that there's a lot of black employees that Trump is going to fire. That's the point that she thought she was going to make by saying, oh my God, 16% of the federal employees are black. That's a lot of black people that are up for getting fired because DEI is going to be eliminated. Because the point that she's trying to basically say is that DEI is what's helping them keep their job. All of them keep their job. Insanity. Insanity. So you're making the great case there on accident. She doesn't even know it, that we need to fire some of them because they're overrepresented. You just said you wanted to reflect what this country looks like, but they don't believe in that. They truly don't believe in that. And that's how you know that she doesn't believe in that, because she tried to use that to make the point that they're all just going to get fired without actually knowing that she made the point that, I mean, they're overrepresented, essentially. Hilarious. Hilarious. Dumb.
Here is sort of a second nadir, because Woodrow Wilson, back in the day, did the same thing. He resegregated the federal government, leading to a plunge in income for not only black workers, but also for women. And so what we're seeing is an attack, not on necessarily DEI or wokeness. We're seeing an attack on the very fabric of our company, which is opportunity for all, including women. And women, what Whoopi has said often, women were really the most, they gained the most advantages from affirmative action. And so this is a war on women. I think it's a war on people of color. And what we're going to see is a lot of pain, but especially to those communities that need those jobs.
And also, one community that you didn't mention is the LGBTQ+.
Absolutely.
Look, one of the things he did, not only did he revoke a bunch of Biden executive orders, including one that calls for the negotiation of lower drug prices for people on Medicaid and Medicare. That's going to be very painful for Americans. But he also revoked an order, the Equal Opportunity order signed by Lyndon Johnson in 1965. So not only are we now going back 4 years.
He could sue Lyndon Johnson, maybe.
Well, we're not only, he's not taking us back 4 years.
Yeah.
He's taking us back to 1965
Right.
before it was legal for there to be interracial marriage in this country.
That's why it's so broad.
And look, I would love to think, and I hope that we get there one day, I would love to think that there is no racism by the people who do hirings in the government and in corporations in America. But that is not the case. I would love to think that there is no homophobia, but that is not the case. And I think that by getting rid of this and doing it in such a bold way on day one, what he is doing is giving a green light to people who are racist, to people who are homophobic, to people who are anti-women and think they should be in the kitchen, and telling them there is no consequence to your racism.
That is just the dumbest thing ever. Why work for them? That's my idea. That's my take. If you believe that a company is racist, why would you force them to hire you? Why would you want to work there to begin with? If I knew that this company that I'm applying for, I found out that the people there are racist, I'm not going to apply. I'll just go somewhere else. Why would I go and try to get the government to force them to hire me by meeting a quota that, one, is not genuine? They truly didn't want me there to begin with. They're forced to take me in because the federal government is making them take me in. So first of all, they don't even want me there. They don't like that I'm there. Sure, okay, whatever. I don't care. I can't control if somebody's a racist or not. So why would I want to force them to do that? Why would I want to go there? Knowing that they're racist, first of all, knowing that they're racist, and they're forced to take me in, I'm still going to go in and work for them. That's the first point. The second point is, why would I want to go make them richer? If I'm trying to work for them, or if and they're racist, and I'm like, you know what? No, you have to hire me, is the silliest take ever, because you're helping somebody that's racist become rich. You're helping them get wealthier, but you hate them. They're racist. Why would you want to do that? It is the silliest take that these people have. It's so crazy to me. I don't know. I just look at shit differently. I don't know. It's confusing, bro.
Criticisms against DEI is diversity, equity, and inclusion. All great in theory, but the DEI programs have not accomplished things. They've been a bureaucracy of money suck that have not gotten anywhere. When you say people are threatened, what do you think the removal of DEI is going to do to those people? Because a lot of this is...
I can tell you that, because the removal of DEI, actually, at this point in time...
Because they're not going to fire people.
Yeah, they wouldn't fire
the
people
departments of DEI.
Well, they're not only going to...
They have put them on paid leave.
They put
the DEI people.
officers.
But what I'm saying is all the people that work...
But they also stopped this thing, these ridiculous, what are you call them? The executive orders. What they are doing is also eliminating the protections for discrimination in awarding government contracts. And to be clear, that is going to hurt women. That is going to hurt.
But I do like, I believe in the spirit of this, which is DEI
has action that supports it.
At University of Michigan, $85 million in a 5-year DEI plan. The Black Student Union said $85 million was spent, and yet Black students' experience on campus has hardly improved, and enrollment has gone down. So that's one example of saying that
Harvard Law School, the
it's not
enrollment of
just
Black
a criticism
students have
of
gone
diversity.
down.
It's a criticism of the programs being effective. And the one thing I will say that is,
The
as we
stats show
push
that they're very
DEI,
effective.
that's not what I'm reading. But the point here is that I would also say this all started in colleges and the turning over of affirmative action. I would ask that they immediately address legacy admissions as well. Because if we're talking about the equal opportunity, we need
Get
to
rid of both. Okay, get rid of both. Like, that's a silly argument again. Just get rid of both. Sure, fine.
I do want to underscore one thing, which is this is abolishing existing DEI departments within the federal government. So people who worked in those departments are being put on leave. It is not going back and like, oh, this woman was hired by this officer, so she's losing
The
her
Civil
job.
Rights Division
across.
has been put on
Yeah,
pause as well.
but that's, I'm just saying a distinction.
Yeah, but
that
they are going through a purge department by department. They are finding out, you know, who might be doing. I mean, they've been asking people in the different federal departments to basically snitch on each other.
Yes.
You know, who's a liberal, who's a Biden supporter, who's into equity,
Yes, they are.
and
What?
they have been, you know, they have been purging those people, which they told us they were going to do. What's one of the first things
That's
he did?
not 1965. That's 1935.
He
Yes, it
fired the commandant, the first woman commandant of the Coast Guard. He did that on day one.
Okay.
A woman,
We
not
got-
because she was unqualified,
We got to go.
because he
We'll
wanted
be right
to.
back.
I love this. Anytime that you get these liberals, The View, and mainstream media crying about anything that Donald Trump does, just know that he did the right thing. That's it. That's how you know. That's how you get your confirmation. If you have a question like, I wonder if Trump made the right decision, just go take a look at what The View or what the liberal media is going to say. And if they're complaining and bitching about it, I promise you he made the right decision. Anytime that they sit there and agree and praise Donald Trump, that's when you should be like, let me see what the hell he just did, right? That's when you should go question it. But anyway, I love this. This is just pure entertainment for me, watching these people complain. And it's going to continue because he is not done. This is just week one. Week one, and we got 4 more years to go, baby. 4 more years. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hit the like button down below. And if you are brand new, consider hitting subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.